I'm afraid to even say it. I think we're live. I will wait for the confirmation, but I think we are live. If we are, in fact, live, I just wanted to say how sorry I am for how many notifications you probably got on Facebook and how many people probably tuned in on YouTube and they were just like, oh, they're live. Nope. No, they're not. Let's see here now. I mean, my fingers are crossed. My toes are crossed. Yes, we are live. Man. Whew. I've worked up a sweat already. Just trying to get this going. We crossed many a mountain to get to this. So let me get the chats pulled up here real quick, guys. And then we will get going. And we have something here for you at the end, for those who are tuning in. A discount code that I'll tell you all about here in a little bit. And I just want to get the live stream pulled up here. And we're going to talk about writing some riffs. Okay. A flat minor. Sounds like boys are back in town. Boys are back in town. Alright, so real quick, let me get a sound check from you guys. Gotta pause that. It's messing with my eyes. But yeah, let me get a sound check from you. Let me get this up here. Turn that off. Mute that. Oh, hold on. There we go. Mute that. Hey, everybody. Frank. Okay. Yeah, and again, so sorry about so many, like, live streams started and stopped. Start and stop. Start and stop. This is all new. You know, we're learning new stuff here. So let me know how my voice is coming through and how my guitar is. Is the guitar too loud? Am I rocking too much with the guitar? Let me know if you can hear me while I'm talking and playing. And Carl, if you're on here, man, could you send me a link to the live stream so I can see the chat? It is not letting me do it on here, and I don't want to leave the window thing here. So if you could send that to me on Skype, because I want to be able to see what people are saying. Maybe I can do this. Oh, never mind. I got it. There we go. Everything sounds fine. Both sound good. V8 Fusion. Well, I know who that is now. And we'll be having a lesson tomorrow about V8 Fusion. So, we are good to go now. And we're going to talk about writing some riffs. More importantly, how to write your own riffs. So, there's all kinds of ways to kind of go about doing that. And, you know, I guess the first thing that I would ask about writing a riff is, can you write a riff yourself with one note? If I said write a riff with an A note, could you turn that into a riff? And the reason I say that is because if you can turn one note into a riff, imagine what you can do with two notes. What could you do with three notes, 4 or 5? You know, we get 12 of them, or 15 or whatever, depending on how you look at it. But you know, if I gave you just an A note, you know, simply just... And the reason I'm saying that is because what that forces you to do is that when you can come up with something, you know, when you're limiting yourself, it makes you be very creative, and usually creative in a rhythmic kind of fashion. You know, and when you come with riffs, that's what you want. So say like that's our riff, that one note right there. I'm just doing an open A note, you know. a different note. Two notes. You know, we're building off of such a simple idea of just taking one thing and more importantly, we're adding a rhythm to it. So that's the first thing that I would want you to be able to do is, can you create a rhythm with one note? You know, and we're going to talk about adding more character to that note, obviously, and turning it into what I would consider, I guess, I mean, that to me that's a proper riff, but a proper riff in the sense that, you know, you can just sit there and kind of turn it into. And also at the end here, we'll be doing the little Q&A section and stuff like that. So if you have questions and stuff, and I'm not answering them right now, have no fear. There will be a Q&A here at the end of that. So to build, oh, that's my phone. Sorry about that, guys. To build this, create your own riff. Like I said, you need to have a starting block. I'm not going to make you guys start with one note. That was just a goofy idea. So we're going to have a little section. I've done a video on this actually called the Rock Box. It's how do you basically never run out of riffs. So this is like a little section of notes. So if you're just trying to get into making up your own riffs, this is the ultimate. I'm telling you. So it's just a little section. We're going to do it out of the key of A, the ultimate rock and roll key. So just a power chord on the 5th fret of the A string. So going to shift down to a power chord on the 3rd fret on the low E string. And you're going to go to 3rd fret on the A string, do a power chord. And then 5th fret on the A string, do a power chord. So we have that little box of notes there. Now what's cool is you could simply do each one for a 4 count, and that would be a riff. You know, the riff itself is, you know, once you have these chords that you figured out that you want, then it's all about tying in either, I mean, it's just all the things you've learned. You know, hammer-ons and pull-offs, muting, sliding, octaves, you know, different voicings for chords, stuff like that. That's when you really, to me, start building the riff. So, you know, you want to start simple. You know, I think what happens with a lot of people is they want to jump into writing, you know. They want to jump into playing Led Zeppelin incorrectly. No, they want to jump into a complicated riff. Like, to me, that's a pretty complicated riff. There's a lot of notes involved. I highly doubt Jimmy Page just grabbed his guitar and was like, you know what? Yep. You know, he probably built that from, I imagine he probably went, and he was like, you know, and kind of just turned it into an idea. So let's take those 4 chords and let's do this. So we're going to do a 4 count for each one. And we're already at the end. I added a little something to it. I was adding vibrato to it, you know, and then I started making the stank face. I went, yeah. When your riff needs that extra little, like, yeah, you know, it's all about making the face. But that's adding to it. Listen to the riff if I didn't add that. It still works, but listen to it with that. A little bit of attitude on there. I dig it. So we have this, and now what's the next thing we could do? So if we have these 4 notes, now what's cool about these 4 notes is you can put them in any order and they're going to sound great. I guarantee you. You cannot put these chords in an order that will not sound good. Some ways are going to sound better than others, but no matter what order, it's going to work? And right there was a lot of stuff happening. So we have this. Let's mute it. That going on. What if we simply did like individual notes instead of like playing the notes together? It's like chording them. Play it. Such a powerful and easy to use technique. I mean, even just taking this and doing like just same notes. Fine. Like I said, to me, it's like an inversion. My hair's in the way of playing the same notes. Hey, Mark. And it's just kind of like I said, you know, it's finding a way to play those same notes and to keep your hair out of your face. So that's one way to start. Like I said, start simple, build. You know, don't get too hung up on, you know, like I said, if Jimmy Page is your favorite riff writer of all time, or Eddie Van Halen, or any of those guys, don't get hung up on if you're just trying to get into writing riffs. You know, this is the very beginning stages of trying to write something like them, because their riffs are very complicated. Not an easy riff. So start simple, you know, and we're going to talk about adding a scale here in a second, but let's just keep working through our possibilities. So we have that. Now, like I said, we could add sliding back and forth between those. Yeah. I can already hear like a singer like, yeah. Sorry, my throat's still messed up from being sick. But he's like, yeah. Come on. Messed it up tonight. So, there's, you know, a million possibilities that could kind of go into just doing that one little box of notes, but it's going to sound killer with all this stuff. So, what I want to do now is the importance of a scale. So right now it's very riffy, you know, and that's fine. And it would be kind of the situation where it's a riff, and then there'd be like a solo separate or something like that. A lot of like, at least this is like a personal preference, of course, but uh-oh. So still no video? Is there no video? Or is someone messing with me? It's fine. Okay, yeah, I'm saying it should be fine. It's still showing that it's working. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Someone said there was still no video, but so yeah, and like I said, and if there's questions, there's gonna be a Q&A section here at the end. This is just kind of like the meat and potato, the lesson of it all. So let's talk about adding a scale to this. So let's go with the ultimate rock and roll scale, the pentatonic scale. And if you don't know it, it goes like this. We're going to go 5/8 on the low E string, 5/7 on the A, 5/7 on the D, 5/7 on the G, 5-8 on the B, and 5-8 on the high E string. So that would be our A minor pentatonic scale, ultimate scale. Now, one thing I will say, to get to where you're, you know, comfortable playing it, and I did a live stream a few weeks ago about actually just the scale. You want to get to where you can play the scale, just ascend it, descend it, play it, you know all these different ways of playing it. So that's all really, really crucial and important, because what happens is the more ways you can navigate through this scale, the more creative you can be, and the less you're going to focus on, is this note in the scale? Can I use this note? Because for one, you can use any note. Don't ever think that you're limited by a scale of, oh, I can't use that note. It's not part of the scale. Because I mentally had that thought process for a very long time. And it wasn't until I got into some jazz stuff where I was like, oh, I realized I could use all these passing tones and stuff like that. So don't worry so much about that. Use the scale as a template to help you. Don't let the scale hinder you in thinking that you can't use notes outside of the scale. Here we go. So we have the scale now. We have our riffs. Okay, riffs. And so we're gonna go like this. There's gonna be our total lick, and so that's our riff. You get muted. I mean, like, you could use one riff and have a whole song for one. So that would just be either all open. That'd be like your opening riff. We're on guitar control. Sorry, I won't sing for very long. And then we have like our verse, and then you want your pre-chorus, and maybe it's like. Something like that. There we go. And I think I just wrote the Guitar Control theme song. Just saying. But someone said brought to you by Powerade. Yes. Brought to you by. I think I was drinking Powerade last time. Because I'm not gonna say that. But so that's it. Now, how do we incorporate the scale into this? Because the scale can really liven up a riff a lot. So let's go like this. We go. Wow, I'm playing that terribly. One more time. So now we have a little lick for them. And I'm not doing anything crazy. Again, start simple. Yeah. But like I said, I'm starting very simple. I'm not trying to go, some kind of crazy lick in between there. I'm not trying to use the whole scale or anything like that. I'm just sitting here adding a little bit of flavor. Like I said, it always needs to complement the riff, complement the song. So, does that add to the song? To me, it makes it a little bit more interesting. It totally complements it, to me anyway. Like I said, it's all going to be a personal preference, but I like that. So what am I doing there exactly? So I'm playing the chords. Coming on, yeah. This is a new song. Single note triplets. Like that's actually a really good point that you just added there, man. Sorry, I'll be back on top for a second. But I love, sometimes to make it sound heavier isn't always adding more notes. So like if that was our riff. To me, like those single notes sound so heavy. It's so Van Halen. But Anyway, so like if you look, it's right out of the middle of the scale. I'm going 7, 5, 7 on the D. Then I'm going to 5 on the G. Then I'm going. Sorry for my like addiction to just adding vibrato to everything. I apologize. And then so then I go back to 7, 5 on the D. Right there. Boom. Okay. So and it helps if you have 2 guitar players, if possible, or you're recording and you can layer it. Trying to do it all at the same time right now. But so we're really building on something now. So now what I don't like is happening there is could Ionian or Aeolian be used modally, avoiding the perfect? Yeah. I mean, like you could use different things. Like if you're wanting to use like Aeolian over this, because this is all A minor. You totally could. For now, we're sticking pentatonics. We're just it's just the building process of it all. And you could use Ionian. That'd be like C Ionian. So when you're going through that, adding that little lick, what I didn't like is it was very repetitive, which was fine, but it ended on that same note each time. To me, that kind of gets boring. So I want to change that note around. I want it to be ending differently. Something like that, working on putting, a new kind of spin on it. Like I said, it's all about creating, this idea. So maybe it's like the start of the song could be something different. So we have this overall idea, and I'm like, okay, so that's like a verse or something like that. I'm like, what about how can I turn this into an intro? It's like, okay, what if I took the power chords? And to me, it always sounds cool when someone goes from like. They take the riff and just do like in a higher octave and then go low and it's like dun-dun-dun. I mean, like Van Halen is a perfect example of like to me that's such a heavy riff. But to take that and then to just take something like this. So let's do it. Let's just kind of roll with whatever's going to happen here. Something like that where it's higher pitch and all of a sudden the drums kick in and then yeah, so there's lots of ways to kind of build a riff off of something like that, There's all kinds of stuff. It doesn't end. It's just... It's all about, like I said, like training yourself to be comfortable with whatever notes you're using, to be super comfortable, because you always want the focus to be put on how you're delivering the note. I think that's so crucial. And you don't want to deliver every note the same. That's why you want to use your techniques like hammer-ons and pull-offs, sliding, muting, maybe not muting everything. If you go... I know I keep using the same order of the notes, but that's just because that's what we're a lot better. But, let's take that riff, for example. Like, it could be simple like that. Here's what I like. To me, that has a lot more going on. Yeah. So like I said, so that's how a riff can quickly turn into a song. And that's just the building blocks of it all. And I know where this is writing your own riffs, but you do the same thing with licks. And this is where if you have a drum machine of some kind, I'm just gonna pull up a metronome. So here we go. And like I said, the metronome the metronome. I don't know why I was saying it like that. The metronome that I use is one called Pro Metronome, and I dig it. Let's go to 120 beats per minute. You could have a sweet sounding click if you wanted to, or is this the right one?
2, 3.
Nope, let's not do that. But it also has a drum sound. So you could have that kind of go. I know you probably won't be able to hear it. But you can use something like that to really, really inspire new ideas. Because a lot of times, like if I'm just really in a rut with coming up with an idea, I'll put on a drum, maybe with a swing. Maybe I won't even do something in 4/4, but I'll put it in a tempo that I don't always play in. That way it's really taking me out of my comfort zone. So it's I'm not like a super fast kind of like I don't really do stuff like that, but I might put on a really fast drum beat and just kind of see where it takes me mentally, and it could take me in a really cool spot, And then what scale do I tend to use the most? Definitely like just a rock, pentatonic, Ionian, Aeolian, some Mixolydian, stuff like that. And the blues scale, of course. So that's kind of where I go with that stuff, And that was all pentatonic that I did. So, you get into stuff like maybe adding the blues note, you can really get some mean sounds. So if we're doing that, blues scale coming in here. Maybe add a pinch harmonic on there. So, there's just lots of it. And the next thing that I want to talk about, so we have these chords, and I want to talk about them because thinking out of the box of the chords is important. What I'm showing you right now is nothing to do with the cage system. We're just doing good old power chords. But, so it's important to me, there's a very big difference between an open A string and a fretted 5th fret low E string. I actually prefer that sound of that A, because it has like it's that twanginess of the open string, pop, pop, pop. The reason I bring that up is because we're starting with a power chord here, and what we're doing is we're keeping our hand pretty planted, so there's not a lot, like when I just go, and I did it once, and I corrected myself because I wanted to wait to talk about it later. When I'm doing that power chord, my hand is stuck here. There's not a lot I can do, to be honest, because I want that to keep ringing out. I want that to be there. But this is just, and as you progress as players, this becomes more just like natural to think of this stuff. My instinct is to not play the 5th fret right here. My instinct is an open A string or an A5 down here. And why? It's because an open A string, look, my hand is free. I could. I get to have that awesome bass note happening in there, but it catches me every time I hear. Oh yeah, like the something like that. Yeah, mix it up a little bit so it's not copyright. But you know, it's just one of those things that when you start learning your way around the fretboard, or kind of even like the Hendrixy thing of using your thumb, it frees up your fingers. So depending on the sound that you want. So listen to these two riffs. It's gonna be the same basic riff, but could you hear the difference? Like this one is very tight sounding when I'm using my thumb on the 5th fret low. It's different from the A string. Hear how like the A has this like looser sound to it. And pedal tones, yeah, so basically that's what I'm doing. I'm just using like pedal tones. I'm pedaling off of a single note. Not quite like the Yngwie kind of like pedal tone, but you know, I'm just using that simple idea there. Which brings me into the next territory that we're doing here, which is kind of what we were hinting on when we had that riff. And sometimes it's like, this goes back to thinking simple. You don't always have to change the riff to make it sound different, to make it sound like it's changing. You could have a riff like that. If you change the note that you're muting on, you're still having movement in the riff. And it's going to sound like it's kind of going somewhere. So don't play the wrong note. Whoa. Thought I broke a string there for a second. So there is just an endless array of that stuff that can kind of happen and go on with this. And I just want to check my time real quick here on us, guys, because I totally forgot to check and see what time we started all this. We got a few more minutes before I announce the discount code. It's not code, but a discount for you guys watching. And I appreciate you guys, like I said before, sticking around through all the us trying to get it started. I think we have it figured out. I think I figured out what to do from now on. So let's go ahead and the final part is I want to talk about is expanding your scale. So you have this part of the scale. And that's just, you know, one box. So I'm going to give you a second box to work with that's very right. I mean, it's not close to the part that we're working on. It's literally part of the rock box that we're doing. And that is box number 5. So box number 5 is like this. It just goes 3 to 5 on the low E, 3 to 5 on the A, 2 to 5 on the D, 2 to 5 on the G, 3 to 5 on the B, and then 3 to 5 on the high E. Okay, so then descend it. Anytime you learn something new, I always recommend people to double it, because it's going to lock that muscle memory in twice as fast for you. So, and what I mean by double, I mean double each string, not go. So that's not doubling your muscle memory, that's doubling your picking. So you want to double your left hand. So that's how that one's going. And hi, Brenda. So we have that, and this chair keeps squeaking. It's driving me crazy, guys. It's driving me crazy. So that is how we have that kind of going on. So with that, now that's kind of more in the territory of where the second half of our riff was at. You know, on all the ones that are on 3rd and 5th fret. Well, now we have a scale right here by our fingers. And if we're up here on the 5th fret, doing those power chords, now we have box 1. So wherever our hand is now, we have extra note options, basically, is the thing. So if I'm going like this, oh, now we can really change it up. Now we got a riff going. We've put 2 blocks together, and we've really got something going on. I thought I turned this phone off. So we have... There we go. Now we've really put it together into something that I think is just that could work its way into being something super, super killer. Maybe add some twin guitar into it, because then that's where like mentally thinking about stuff takes over. It's like, oh, I could take it here. And when you have different drum beats behind things, it gives it a whole different vibe. Like to me, you could have like your straightforward like, or you could do like a halftime like crash on the cymbals, and that's just because, you know, it's all of you is involved in creating this. You're not just following, you know, the paper says to play these chords, which, you know, having tabs and stuff is super helpful. But when you're doing like this, like I'm being goofy, but like when I'm writing riffs, I'm doing the same stuff. I'm over here like singing the stuff out loud. I'm like, oh yeah, like, I can totally hear this happening here and stuff. And what I'm saying is, it's just getting all of you involved in it. Like I move around a lot when I'm playing, because I'm feeling the riff, you know, I'm jamming on it, and I think that's important to, if possible, tap your foot, you know, bob your head, be thinking of vocal lines over like maybe like a solo or something like. So let's see. Zoo-doo-doo, brown and now. Down and down, down and down. So that's what I hear happening over that, and stuff like that. So if there are any questions, hold on to them here for just a second, because we are going to be warping our way into the Q&A section, because like I said, to all you guys who are tuning in here, we do have a special little promo here for you that you can save 15%. Of course, that is on the Killer Guitar Control Secrets, and that is a course here on the channel. Of course, it's a course, and it's really, really cool, because it's just based on 3 different things. So a lot of stuff that I was just talking about, it's kind of what the course is about. It's about, I mean, I say playing from the heart, which sounds like, what does that mean? Well, it means kind of playing what you're feeling. Are you feeling the music when you're playing it? And that promo code should be in the chat for you and stuff like that. Let me make sure before I get all hog wild over here on ya. Let's see, Carl, if you're watching, if you could put that link in the chat. What is happening here? For me? Well, it'll be there. It'll be in the description of the video and stuff like that as well. And so, like I said, you know, it's a whole course that's on here. It was one of the first courses. I think it's actually what was, you know, founded Guitar Control. Claude made this course, And it's since been updated and re-recorded and stuff like that. Because obviously, as time goes on, you want to update stuff. You have new ideas and concepts and all that, and you just want it to look better. But they've updated it and all that stuff. And like I said, there's 15% off for you guys who are watching it right now. That link is down in the description and stuff like that. And basically, the course is in three different sections of it. So you have the part that is very much about technique, because you're gonna need technique to focus on all this stuff. And all technique does is make your vision clearer, on the fingerboard. So imagine if you learn a few licks over time, like it would take you years and years and years to navigate through the fingerboard. I'm not saying it is impossible, but it would take a long time. And what this is going to do is it's going to help you focus on the techniques that are going to help you navigate through the fingerboard itself. So that's going to be part one. Like I said, it's basically 3 parts. Now, the third part is actually working your way, understanding the fingerboard itself. If you're a person who, is stuck in a rut, this is really good, because think of it like if you walk through a forest with one path, and you take the same path every day, it's going to get boring. And that's what happens when you're playing guitar. So this is going to unlock a lot of pathways through the fingerboard for you. And that is so crucial, because it helps it. I mean, to me, like, I've been playing for about 12 years, and it helps you stay inspired, really, really easily. And the third part of the course is basically playing with your heart, stuff like that. It's all about understanding, playing what you hear. Like when I heard that melody and then I was able to play it, that's what it's about. So make sure you guys check that out if you're interested in it. If you dig the stuff that I'm kind of teaching, this is that is taught by Claude, not myself, but it's really, really cool. I think you guys would dig that. So if anyone has questions, feel free. We have 15 minutes here. You can ask me anything. You can ask me to do a cartwheel, and I'll decline, but you could ask me to if you wanted to. You can ask me about guitars, gear, how I'm playing stuff. I saw some questions about, could I show you the Mixolydian pentatonic, please? Absolutely. So I'll show you kind of what I'm doing here. I might have done a video on this a long time ago for guitar control. I've been doing videos here for a while, and I really, really enjoy working with all the people at Guitar Control. So here is the Mixolydian, or me ripping off Eric Johnson nonstop. Part. Let me make sure you guys can see me okay. There we go. Yeah, we're good. You're good. You can see the guitar. My face doesn't matter. But like I said, yeah, if you guys have questions, feel free to throw those in the chat, and I'll be looking for them. Okay, so the Mixolydian pentatonic. So what I'm doing there is I'm taking a normal pentatonic scale, okay, and I'm adding what's called the major third. So normally in your pentatonic scale, you have your minor thirds. What I'm doing is I'm raising them up a half fret. So I'm going from minor third to major third. It gives it this Mixolydian kind of vibe to it. So instead of this, I have this. So how do you play that exactly? I'm going 5 to 9 on the low E string, 5 to 7 on the A, 5 to 7 on the D, 6 to 7 on the G, 5 to 8 on the B, and then 5 to 9 on the high E string. I'll play it one time real slow. Gives it that Mixolydian sound. Technically, I believe this would be making the scale a dominant pentatonic, because we still have our minor 7, and we have a major third now. And the reason why it's not quite, Mixolydian, just because it doesn't have enough notes in it, to be honest. But Mixolydian would be, we're missing that that ninth or second, in the scale. And this chair is driving me crazy. So that is how you play that, get that Mixolydian kind of sound. It can sound really cool. It just, livens up. show you how to do pinch harmonics. Man, that is like the ultimate thing, like that is tough to show people how to do. Basically, let me flip so I can see my camera so I can show this to you, right? You want to see how little of my pick, I'll use my big old nose. See how much of my pick is sticking out? Not much. And basically when you're doing it, you're picking the string, and you want the string to come back and hit your finger. So think about it if you played your A string open. And here I barely touched it with my finger, and I got a harmonic out of it. That's what you kind of want. But you have to be able to do it on demand. It takes a lot of practice. The way that my teacher told me to do it is go home, turn all the gain up on your amp, and just work on it nonstop. And once you get to where you can do it, it's just one of those things that's like, oh, I can do it all of a sudden. A little question about tonal and modal composing. If you do a Ionian progression like 1-5-4 versus 1-4-5, the first one is the modal and the second one is the tonal progression. Hey Tom, I have no clue, man. Just being honest. Yeah, I have no clue. I know a decent amount of theory, but I'm not like a super theory person, you know. And that's probably just like the rock background in me is more just kind of like grab the guitar and like, you know, let's bark out some riffs. 'Cause I don't do a whole lot of like the modal. I mean, I do some of the modal, you know, where I might be playing over individual. I'm kind of playing over individual chords a little bit, but not a whole lot, unfortunately. Sorry, Tom. Okay, so I'm just trying to... Oh, that's why that's not updating. Can you suggest a little bit of pickup effects, high gain amp, or heavy sound? Man, you know, I like a sound that's very crisp and defined, you know, which when you have an amp with a lot of definition, it's going to really articulate what you're doing, so it's going to really let you know when you're messing up. You'll be you know, on your toes, and that's kind of what this is. Like, so, you know, I'm not like the cleanest player in the world as I hit my guitar, by no means at all. And I like it though, because if you listen to like the higher strings, they're very pronounced. I have a decent amount of gain going on, not too much. Gain's on like 5 or 6. I'm using an Axe Effects through a Friedman BE setting. Not that you can still get those like to put that stank on the and get kind of going if you need to, but yeah, like I said, as far as like a real amp, the Rev right here has been the ultimate amp for me. I absolutely love it. It kind of has been just a do everything amp. So there's really nothing that I found that the Rev couldn't do. So can you see? Oh, can I suggest? Okay, I read that one already. Pinch harmonics. Any other questions from anyone? Record a riff and improvise a solo over it. Yeah, that's really good. And you're just practicing your scale over your own riff is really, really helpful. Someone asked, is the basic idea of chord progressions just to make it easy? Well, chord progressions can help a lot in a lot of different ways. So, for one, you know, it can give you a nice template. like a sound that you're trying to go for. So like if you wanted a nice chord progression, instead of just going, G to C to D, you could do something kind of cool like G to B minor, E minor, D major, and that's like a different kind of sound to it, Or if someone was playing those power chords and I saw them kind of go, I know the progression, so I would be like, even though they're just doing power chords, so a power chord isn't really major or minor, I could outline those chords. So so that would be G major and the G major scale, and then B minor and E minor and D minor. So I could sit there and go, let's go G to that B. And I can outline it that way, although I'm not doing a good job right now. So there's another G chord. There's a B minor. I could go to E minor if I wanted to. It's my nearest E minor. My least favorite one of all. And then D major. And I would kind of figure out, what's the best path to get from here to whatever the progression might be. Mark says, I can't get any faster on alternate picking pattern. I'm using a metronome but can't get any faster. Can you help? Yeah, man. So one thing you want to do is, for alternate picking, focus on how much you're moving your hand, for one. I know I was having an issue just like that, and what I did was I really focused. It slowed me down a lot. I know there's the typical saying of slow down, but it's a little bit more than just slow down. I slowed down and I focused on what my hand was doing. And one of the things that I really changed about my picking hand was I always used to fan my fingers out like this. And what I found was it's a fine technique, and there's great players like Sam Colson who does it, and he's obviously like a picking master. But for me, it was making move my hand a lot. And what it was, I started closing my hand and really articulating. And what happened is it sped me up because I wasn't moving my hand so much. So that was one thing that helped a lot. And, repetitive patterns, but take a metronome and make sure you're doing it in very small increments. People tend to want to jump from like 100 to 120, and it's like, no. Do 100 for a practice session, and the next practice session do 103 or 105, whatever is more comfortable to you, and do it that way, and I guarantee you it'll help a lot, And then there's other things like evaluating what technique you're actually using. So on a single string line like that, I'm alternate picking everything. Oh, hold on. Hold on. The nerves of trying to pick while I'm live is not, and that's why you get a lot of legato. But that one, it has to be alternate picked. But what if I was crossing strings or something like that? If I'm going like this, that one, you could alternate pick it. For me, it'd be more like a economy, like down, up, down, down. So like that. A lot more economy picking is kind of coming into play. So that kind of stuff, to me, can help with a lot of that. So, can you... Oh, that's the same question there. So, any other questions before we call it a night, guys? I'll hang in. I'll just kind of... I'll jam a lamb here for a minute. Let you guys think if you have any other questions. But other than that, we'll probably call it a night. Rob thinks I have the most problem with single string exercise. Ah, okay. With single string, it is, yeah, I've always had the most trouble. And it's funny, I have the hardest time playing up here. I don't know if it's because my hands are big. But let's do a single string exercise, and that's how we'll kind of wrap things up. My first time here, just want to say thanks. Well, hey, Johnny, thank you so much for tuning in, man. I hope you enjoyed the live broadcast. So here's how we'll wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up with a single string picking exercise. So what we're going to do is this. And this is like a Yngwie-inspired pedal tone idea. So we're going to do, we'll do 3 positions right here. Of A minor, since that's the ultimate key. We're going to like this. So it's all about controlling your movement on a single string. And your left and right hand really have to work together because you're not crossing strings now. So we're going to be going 10 on the high E string. Then you're going to go to 13 on the high E. Then 12 on the high E. And then 13 on the high E. So before you worry about these other ones that we're getting ready to do, get that one down, man. Okay, so we have that. Now we're going to shift down. We're going to go same scale. We're going to go 8, and then we're going to go 12, 10, 12 on the high. We're going to do each of these 4 times. Shift down again, and now we're going to be going, it was a 7, 10, 8, 10. So right now when I'm doing that, my hand is, I'm being kind of sloppy, my hand's moving a lot. I'm starting on the down, but when you practice it, you want to make sure you're going like this. My hand's not moving a lot. And you could easily take that and do that one, it's going to change the key. Do it on each string, you know. I'm like the worst on the B string. You know, Yngwie does this in, what is that song? However he does that, he goes... No, that was it. Something like that. Anyways. So, other than that, thank you all so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this. Sorry for the being late and then all the failed broadcast. I think we got it figured out for sure this time. Me and Carl got it down. And when am I getting my new axe? Man, it was supposed to be here Saturday in FedEx. They changed it from Saturday to next Tuesday. It's brutal. So maybe next time you guys see me, I'll have a new guitar. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope you had a great time. And I will be here, I believe, for quite a few Thursdays in a row. So make sure you guys are tuning back. And like I said, they should be at 8 p.m. So they will just be kind of, there will be much more reliable at 8 p.m. Next time we'll have a new topic for you guys. And if you're watching on YouTube and you're still tuning in, leave comments below what you're wanting to see. So have a great night, everybody. And I will see you next time.